How's it going, everybody? The Seer here, and the new Annihilation raids is finally coming. We have information on that, but first I do want to let you guys know there are two promo codes that we're going to be claiming today. The first one is going to be August Challenge, and this one right here looks like it's going to give us 300,000 gold, 4,000 antimatter. I will definitely take that. Now, the other one here is Summer Boost. Now, I'm hearing that this message will come up. You just need to wait about 120 seconds like it says. Try again, and this is going to get us our next reward. While this is going on and we're waiting for this, I do want to jump in game quick because in the command center is going to be something that we want to take a look at. So, if you end up going into the command center right here, if you end up clicking on this top tab where it's the Age of Annihilation Chapter 2, there's going to be this claim button right here. Now, if we end up claiming this, I did end up taking screenshots of this already, so let's go ahead and jump back to this side. So if you end up hitting claim, you're going to get this pop-up to get you 5,000 of the antimatter. So that's 9,000 antimatter right there. Let's go ahead and see if the summer boost code works. This is another 3,000, so that's 12,000 antimatter that we just got today. Really happy about that one. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this Annihilation raid, because I'm really curious how this is going to end up being. I believe this is going to be replacing the Chaotic Storm like it says right here. So this is going to be the new top raid that we're going to be aiming for. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. The Annihilation raids, a new battlefield is here. The Annihilation raids designed for alliances of all sizes and power levels. These raids offer powerful rewards tailored to your goals. This is your chance to earn substantial amounts of Crimson gear. Review the details below and start strategizing with your alliance today. The big thing I want to see from this raid is leaderboards, because the current leaderboard is really lackluster. Again, if we jump back in game and we take a look at these leaderboards for the raids, there's no point in really pushing towards the top end, because if we look at the leaderboard for the milestones right here, it's okay-ish. The leaderboard itself for the ranking, there's no G20 on here, so there's really no point to really stress, burn through your power cores or anything to really try to get these rewards. That's one of the big things I want to see from this new raid. Also, I would like it to be to where the main boss at the end is more of a challenge. I like challenging content. I don't like just going in, hitting sim, and then kind of waiting for 24 hours. I actually want to play the game. So let's go ahead and see if that's going to answer some of our questions in here. So there's two raids, Forge Your Path, just like we've been doing. The Annihilation raids, the Annihilation raid replaces the Chaotic Storm raids, introducing new opportunities for alliances who can choose their best path based on ambition. The Annihilation raid, ideal for alliances seeking balanced experience, accessible gameplay, and rewarding challenges. Then the Omega is built for top alliances seeking strategic collaborations and exceptional completion rewards. This is kind of what we have in game already, right? So we had the Chaotic Storm Omega, and we had the regular Chaos raids right here. Now this right here for the regular one, if we go in and take a look, this is one of those where you just kind of have each lane for all of them. And this is more geared towards like those newer alliances to where each player can take their own lane. So I'm thinking that's going to kind of be the same path that they're going to be doing with this one. I actually applaud that. That's actually really cool and a good catch-up way to get people to dip their toes into these Omega raids and really start kind of pushing that leaderboard. Now let's go ahead and take a look. Each raid will possess 8 lanes for each of the 3 strike teams, consisting of 8 mission nodes. Completion rewards will unlock at 90% completion. However, you still need 100% completion to fully complete and end the raid automatically. Okay. So difficulty levels rise to the challenge. Both raids feature escalating difficulty levels, each providing higher stakes and greater rewards, starting at difficulty 2. Characters must meet the ISO 8 requirements. This is telling me that purple 4 and 5 is going to be coming pretty quick here, which we kind of got that idea off of the strike time where RJ and Pathfinder were kind of talking. So we know that's on the roadmap and kind of coming here pretty soon. So the default and difficulty 1, there's no ISO 8 requirement. Then it's going to go into green 1 all the way to green 5, blue 3, blue 5, and then purple 1 down to purple 3 for difficulty 8 and 9. Each mission allows individual difficulty selection with the individual raid difficulty selector, which we already have in the game. You can scale up, but you can't scale down. So if you are doing like difficulty 1, you can scale yours up to that difficulty 5, for instance. Or in this case, all the way up to difficulty 9. Empowering each member of your alliance to contribute effectively. Dynamic trait requirements. This right here we kind of saw in the data mines, and it's actually pretty interesting. There's something we need to really kind of discuss with this, though. So let's go ahead and read this first, and then we'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. Starting at difficulty 3, missions features trait requirements. So difficulty 3 right here, where it's the purple or green 3, green 5, and all the way up to the blue 5. So this chunk right here, the origin traits for greater accessibility. So this is going to say like you need your bio, you need your mutant, your skill, your tech, those type of things, right? Difficulty 7 and 9 have specific team requirements. So that's going to be when you get into the purple ISO, it's going to have those specific team requirements. So that's going to be your vigilante, your Night Stalkers, your Hellfire Club, the Insidious 6 that we now have, which I'm curious how that's going to end up going. Let's see if they answer that portion in here. Difficulties 6 to 7. At these difficulties only, nodes that require the most recently added team will also allow the second most recent team to be specified origin trait. So basically what this is saying right here for difficulties 6 and 7, which is the blue 5 and purple 1, it will have like Extreme X-Men along with Hellfire Club. It's going to have Insidious 6 as well as the Orcus team. Difficulty 8 and 9 requires the latest raid team for each origin trait per node. Now, the thing that I wanted to talk about in here is it's specifically laying out the trait. I was curious if they're going to go the route of basically saying, hey, you need to use Night Stalkers or Mystic characters, like Mystic characters, but no Mythic tag. Basically making it to where you have to use your full Night Stalker team, and you can't sub in like Mephisto and Odin like some people have been doing. I've just been subbing in Mephisto personally, or the Extreme X-Men right here. It's specifically going to say Extreme X-Men, not Mutant, meaning you can't use Old Man Logan to sub in there. So that's kind of the big thing, because if we kind of take a look at the current teams that we have for the raids, what I've been doing is under my raid tab right here, like I have my Orcus, I have my Thunderbolts. This is kind of a nothing. But here I have like Night Stalkers, Mephisto. Over here I have Extreme X-Men with Old Man Logan. So this isn't going to work anymore. You have to use Cyclops, basically. You have to use Moon Knight. So that is going to mean that you need to build and invest in those characters if you haven't done so already. Mainly Moon Knight. In regards to like Thunderbolts, we use the full team. Orcus, we've been using the full team. So that is something that you want to be very mindful of. So make sure that your alliance leaders are aware of this when they start kind of designing your raid lanes and everything to see what everybody has. Dynamic lanes evolving challenges. As new raid team debut, they'll replace the older teams and the 2 highest difficulties, keeping challenges fresh, dynamic, and aligned with the newest team strategies. This is very interesting. So it means they're not done getting those new teams out, because we just got the Hellfire Club. We just are getting in the next patch, right, the Insidious 6. So the next team that's going to be replaced is going to be Night Stalker. So this is basically saying Night Stalker is going to get swapped out and that's going to kind of evolve and change with this raid. So they said it without saying it, right? Newer teams will be featured in 2 nodes in a lane. Complete teams will be necessary to finish a raid lane for the highest difficulties. So this right here is basically saying newer teams will be featured in 2 nodes in a lane. Complete teams will be necessary to finish. I believe that's basically saying like how you have the 2 nodes and then you have a boss node, right? Because if we take a look at the current raids that we have right now, we have 2 nodes boss, 2 nodes boss. So if we end up taking a look here, like here's a boss node. So we have 2 nodes right here, and then we have a boss node for this one right here. Then it's going to go like another 2 nodes for skill, and then we have the boss node. So I'm wondering if these right here would be like the 2 most recent teams, and this would end up going into just the recent, and then you'd have to skip it. I'm really curious how that's going to end up playing out, because that's a pretty interesting and a unique change. I don't hate it if that's how I'm thinking it is. It's really interesting. Recommended strategy to maximize your rewards. Because difficulty 8 to 9 will require only the newest teams, we recommend instead that alliances choose difficulty 6 or 7 and utilize the Annihilation raid map over the Omega map. Challenge accepted. We're going to take that Omega raid down, right, guys? As well as the individual raid difficulty selector. This will help avoid missions that require teams that may not have fully unlocked yet and help maximize rewards, as the highest difficulties cannot be completed without the full newest teams. I get what they're saying. So if you end up taking a look at the difficulty 6 and 7, you set the entire raid to, say, difficulty 7. That way, those players that don't have Hellfire Club or the Insidious 6, since those are the newest teams, they could stay on that difficulty, whereas myself or other members, we would end up cranking the difficulty up to difficulty 9, so that way we can really maximize our rewards and they're not left back. That's why I really like this dynamic trait requirement and how they have the scaling on there. It's a really interesting way that makes it to where you're not booting people out of your alliances that's not a spender or isn't a full hardcore player like some other people, and that way you can kind of keep your friends close. That's why I really like this type of change that they've been doing on the last raid and this raid. Now for the rewards, grab plenty of gear from blue to crimson and especially G20 based on your completion and difficulty. Along the way, you'll also earn gold and T4 ability materials. We kind of knew that the G20 was coming, because when we go in the game and we took a look at that command center, and that's how we kind of got that sneak peek that the Annihilation raids were coming up here on this tab. And then if you end up going over here, where it had this one, Annihilation raid, and they showed the G20 offs, and it also mentioned G20. So we knew the G20 was coming for this. So that just gives us that confirmation. I'm guessing that's going to end up being leaderboard. They're not going to give that per node, right? It's got to be like, if you get like the 75, 90, 100% completion, that's got to be how they're going to be doing that. Otherwise, that's a lot of G20, honestly. Even if it's just like one orb that you get every 2 days, that's might end up being what it is. I'm curious what the reward structure is going to end up being for this. As far as the T4s, I've got a huge surplus lately, I noticed, where I have about 3,000. I know not everybody's there. Eventually, you will get to that point. And I think they're going to keep increasing that T4, because they have to keep increasing it and not keeping the T4s kind of stagnant, in my opinion. Now, here's the big news right here. The date for that Annihilation raid. Don't miss the start of the Annihilation raids when the doors open August 22nd, 2 p.m. Pacific time. If you are one of your alliance leaders, make sure you set an alarm for the 21st. You launch that raid with the auto, turn off the auto raid launcher. That way you can dip right into the new raids when they come out on the 22nd. And the 22nd is going to end up being next Friday. So that's going to be really big. I'm glad they're doing it on a Friday and not a weekend. That way people's going to be in the office in case there's any issues with this. I would have preferred if they end up launching it more on a Monday. That way they can actually take the full time to fix any issues that we end up seeing with it. So we don't have to go into the weekend of it. But it is what it is, right? Please note the information in this vlog is subject to change before going live in game. Now, again, I just want to go over the raid teams we're going to be looking at again when we end up going in here. So the teams we have the Insidious 6 coming. Right now we have the Orcus team. And we should still be on the Orcus set until the Insidious 6 team ends up coming out, because that's going to be like a month away, because we're still getting the Hellfire Club. We're going to end up having the Thunderbolts team, The full team is right here. We're going to have the full Night Stalkers. Make sure you build up your Moon Knight. We're going to be needing him for that. We're going to need the Vigilante team right here. And Hellfire Club's going to be replacing the Extreme X-Men. Now, in the data mines, we did see Uncanny Avengers were on there. I don't know if that's just a data mine thing or if they're actually going to be in there. Have these guys ready. Going to need them anyways for the Spotlight raid. But in those data mines, like I said, it had this team listed on there. We don't know the node structure. You have about 2 weeks to really kind of get your teams up. If you want, just hoard and then wait to actually skill up and throw any things on your characters. That's the biggest thing I can recommend, is save your resources for that 2 weeks. See who you need to build up. See what difficulty your alliances is going to be doing for that one. Now, something I've been doing on my Discord and other videos that you guys might have been seeing is the everything to know. This is going to show you what T4s you're going to need for your team, the placement, the ISO selection, everything. I have it already set for the Thunderbolts team. I have it for the Vigilante team. I'm finishing up the Hellfire Club. I'll go ahead and start on the Insidious 6. As far as the Night Stalkers, I had an older video. I'll try to get that one kind of re-updated for you guys. I don't know when that's going to be coming, though. I'll at least put on my Discord channel the team infographic, because I believe I have that one already done. So that will be on my Discord. So make sure that you guys do end up checking that out. That's going to be in the description below. Go ahead, join that Discord channel. But hopefully you guys are excited as I am for this new raid. I'm looking forward to new content, so I'm really excited about this one. Now, if you guys did enjoy this video, please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.